All right. Good afternoon. It's early. Early for me anyway. I usually stream later, but doing something a little bit different today. Not playing a game. We. I always say we. Why do I always say we? I'm gonna be building a new PC. The I've been actually wanting to do this for a what do you call? I've been wanting to do this for a few months now. My hopefully you can hear me. Anyway, I want to do this for a few months now, but as many of you are likely aware, there's a worldwide chip shortage, and so getting CPUs and GPUs is kind of a pain in the butt. And it's like I've just been waiting to be able to get one, one of each, and I finally got my one of the new Ryzen processors. Gosh, I guess this has been here for maybe a week or so. A week, maybe 2 weeks. But I wanted to, I'd been on a bunch of watch lists and just been waiting for it since the beginning of the year, I think. And it's just been, out of stock, unless you want to pay double. Because there's a bunch of scalpers that will happily sell you one right now for double the price. And it's I'm not about that life. So I waited patiently. As it turns out, though, I actually do not have a GPU yet. It's the same story with the GPU, where I just can't get one. And again, it's one of those, well, I could let a scalper charge me double, but I don't want to do that either. So actually, that's what this right here is actually the box that has been running pretty much all of the streams that you've been watching over the past year, I guess. And it's what do you call? Geez, I think I've had this thing. I want to say I put this together, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, something like that. It's been a while since I put this one together. And what am I saying? Oh, so between this box that's probably 6-ish years old, and my laptop, which is what's actually running this stream that you're watching right now. My laptop is from 2013, so it's 7 or 8 years old. It's I'm my computers are not new. They all still work pretty well. I tend to try and build things that are I don't build powerhouse boxes, or in the case of laptops, I don't spec super powerhouse things, but I usually try and buy current gen low to mid-range stuff, so that it'll last a decent amount of time. So if I got 8 years out of my laptop and 6 or so years out of this, I'm going to say I did okay. Well, they're not broken, and obviously they're still working. But what I've been thinking is there's a few things that I want to do. There's nothing that I want to do that I absolutely cannot do with the machines that I have currently. However, there are some things that I could do better or faster. But more than that, especially my laptop, which has been my primary machine for the last 8 years. I mean, it's the one that like I use at my desk and I take on trips with me, and I use on a daily basis. This particular box actually I built several years ago to be essentially like a Steam box. Until last year, this lived in the entertainment center in the living room and was connected to the TV, and we would use it to play Steam games mostly, and various other little bitsy things that, it's like, hey, it would be nice if I could use the computer but sit on the couch and use the TV as a monitor. So that's what this was doing primarily, which means that actually it was idle most of the time. But like I said, it's getting a little bit old. And where I'm at right now, especially with my laptop being as old as it is I really would like to get a new machine put together and kind of transition over to it before it breaks. Not saying that my laptop is, definitely going to break, but 8 years is a pretty good run. So it's not going to last forever, and I definitely I don't want to be scrambling, I guess is what I'm saying, where I want to be able to take my time and transition to a new computer and just be comfortable with it. And that way, whenever my laptop does finally die, it's no longer my primary machine. I'm not scrambling around to try and get something together before so that I can, continue to do anything. That actually happened to me once some years ago. This'll date it. Gosh, it's probably been 12, 15 years ago. But my main laptop that I had been using at the time did just up and die. It surprised me, basically. And the only other computer that I had in the house at the time was a netbook, if you remember netbooks. And so I didn't really have any choice but to just like pull out that netbook and start using it. And it became my primary computer. And I used it for like a whole year, and God, it was miserable. Like I just kept not getting around to buying something new and not getting around to buying something new, and just I kept using that stupid netbook, day to day, which I mean it worked okay for obviously like web tasks, since that's what they're designed for. But anytime I actually had to like do something, like run a real program, it was just like, hurry up and wait all the time. And basically, I just don't want to get back into that. I don't want to get back into that position again. So that's why I thought, well, let's build a new box. And actually, the reason that I've pulled this one out, my old box, is, like I said, I have not been able to secure a new GPU yet. And in fact, here's what's so like frustrating about this, about the chip shortage, which, I won't get into it too far, but just for those of you who maybe aren't up on what's going on, part of it's COVID related. Like there's some supply chain issues where, chips are harder to get. But then part of it is also like Bitcoin mining, cryptocurrency mining, where a lot of people are, just buying up tons of GPUs, and there just aren't that many left over. Plus, both Microsoft and Sony launched new consoles late last year, and both of them have AMD CPUs and GPUs in them, and they're big customers, so a big chunk of those are going. A big chunk of what's being manufactured is going to them, and obviously, if you you've been paying any attention at all, you know that Xboxes and PlayStation, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5s have also been quite difficult to come by. So it's all interrelated in that regard, and the result is I don't even want a good GPU. Like, I don't do a ton of gaming on my PC. I'm pretty much a console gamer for the most part, except when I'm playing arcade games, I guess. So like I'm not interested in the RTX 3000 series, whatever, the latest greatest new hotness GPUs. Honestly, all I want is frickin' GTX like 1600, like 1650 even, kind of the entry level, previous generation and a half ago GPU that should retail for somewhere between $150 and $200, because that's good enough. It's good enough for for the types of things that I generally do. But I'll be damned if you can find one of those to buy right now, they want $500 for them or $600 for them. And it's just like, if I'm going to spend $500 or $600, then I might as well be getting a 3000 series. Of course, those are like, $1,200 right now because they're all freaking scalpers, or just, whatever ones that actually exist out there. They're charging 3, 4, 5 times, retail price for them. So I'm just gonna wait. But what I'm gonna do in the meantime is just kind of like steal the GPU out of this box and put it in the new one until I can get a new one. So that's why this is sitting here. All right, I'm just gonna set this down for right now because I'm not gonna need it right away. Okay. Hello, chatty people. Hope I paid a reasonable price. I did pay a reasonable. I paid. I mean, for the CPU, I just paid like regular retail, which this is the 5600X, so it's not even. I mean, it's like I said, it's current gen. It's the Zen 3, but it's their lowest end entry level model at the moment. But again, like, given that my next newest computer in the house is a 6 or 7 year old Intel, this is going to absolutely like run circles around it, and it's totally fine. I don't need more. But yeah, I just paid a regular retail for this, which I think is $299, which actually, to be honest, is probably the most I've ever paid for a CPU, like by itself. Because I guess I've tended to buy like the previous generation in the CPU space. When I've built computers in the past, so they've usually been a little bit less. But I figured everybody's going crazy over these Zen 3s, so I figured I'd hop on that train. Glitched, yeah. Pretty sure GPUs are going for triple. Yeah, it's all just stupid. The whole thing is just absolutely obnoxious. Like, I understand why it's happening, but it doesn't make me it doesn't make me feel good. Like I said, it doesn't make me feel good where the choice is wait an indefinite amount of time or pay the price for pay the premium for what would be like the top of the line, cutting edge, best in class of that thing, but actually be getting the low end one. And I'm just like, Don't love that feel. Yeah, Tremazi, you're talking about the AMD GPUs. I thought about the AMD GPUs, and I mean they're not any easier to get than the Nvidia ones. Honestly, the reason that I'm decided to stick with the Nvidia though is simply because, like I said, I don't do very much gaming on my PC anyway, so I'm not, the number one like the number one function for it is of quite a bit diminished importance to me. So I don't that kind of performance I don't care a ton. It just needs to be adequate. But OBS has the hardware accelerated encoding, which is something that I do use a lot in my current workflow now that I've been streaming, and unfortunately that is tied to Nvidia. So I guess they're gonna keep me in that camp for a little while longer. Am I going to reuse the shuttle? Oh, let me tell you something. I meant to say this before. So this is my old box is a shuttle brand box, and I personally haven't had like a desktop machine at my desk at home in probably at least 15 years. I've been a laptop person for a long time now. Mostly, amusingly, partially because I haven't actually had a desk at home for a long time either, but I do now. But in the past, whenever I've built desktop machines, probably for the last, at least 20 years or so, I've really loved these shuttle boxes because they're a nice small form factor machine, and they're relatively quiet, and they're kind of easy to they're easy to put on a desk and not take up too much room. They're easy to move around if I need to, which is why this one's been my streaming computer for the last year, and I just really like them, and like back in the now that I think about it, it's probably been more like 25 years that I've been using these, because I've got one. I had old like Athlon XP based machines that were shuttles, and then Athlon X2s, and then this is like a Core i5, and I've built a few of these in the last 5 or 6 years. I should look to see when I bought this one. I can't remember. It's been some time, probably. I want to say this is newer than my laptop, which I know is from 2013, but this could be from like 2014 even. So it could be 6 or 7. But it doesn't really matter. Anyway, the whole thing about this form factor though in the shuttles is, for the longest time it was called like the shuttle form factor. Like when you buy one of these cases, it comes with the motherboard already in it, and the power supply. So all you do is just add components and build up the machine, and that was I always liked that, but I think this one actually, right around the time that I bought this box, they actually switched from their own proprietary form factor to Mini-ITX. So like a standard form factor. So in theory, I probably could build in this box. In the past, I would not have been able to, because the shuttle form factor was not the same. It was actually slightly smaller than Mini-ITX. But of course, like, all the holes don't line up, and I mean, it would just be a nightmare to try and use it for that. But I could use it in this case, but I'm not going to. And I really wanted to get another shuttle box, because like I said, I've been using these for forever, and I really like them. But for whatever reason, shuttle, like I said, they always it's like a complete kit. So it's the case and the power supply and the motherboard, and then they have like this CPU cooler in here, which we can look at in a little bit, which is kind of unique to them as well. And I love that package, but they do not make an AMD. They don't make an AMD board anymore. It's all Intel, and so I was like, I really want to build. I really want to build a Ryzen system, so I guess I'm not gonna buy a shuttle, because I can't build a shuttle around a Ryzen. This is not possible right now. Bummer. So no, I have a different case actually that I'm gonna use. So I'll be building in a new case that I've never worked in before, and it'll be the first time in the last like probably 5 or 6 computer builds that I have not built a shuttle. So this will be some new territory for me as well, but hopefully it'll be fun. So let's see. Oh, the DDR coaster. Yep. I've got a whole set of. I've got a bunch of video game coasters. There's a store on Etsy, the Coasty Marshmallow, that makes tons of video game themed coasters, and I've bought several of them. Let me see here, because like, yeah, here's some more DDR ones, but like there's a Space Ace one. Let's see. Here's a Dragon's Lair one. And I've got some more around. There's one that I want to show real quick if I here I just found the stash. Yeah, I maybe got a little carried away. But yeah, here's a bunch of different like Space Ace and Dragon's Lair designs. Got some Mortal Kombat, more DDR ones apparently, some Crazy Taxi. But of course, there's like multiple different designs in those bags, but I too lazy to like get them out right now. But oops. Every time you order from him, he always sends like a freebie, and this is one of the freebies that he sent me once, and when I opened it, I laughed a lot. If you went to arcades in the 90s, you know this one well. Oh, and I see that I'm like peeking out my microphone, so I should probably turn that down just a little bit. I'm kind of using different equipment than I normally do, so let me know if there's any issues, because I I kind of just threw this together real quick. Oh, you wonder if the coasters are made in X style? I don't believe that he's made any that way, but you can absolutely ask him. Because I remember actually, I had ordered some from him, and he was like, hey, do you have any ideas of coasters that you might like or other people might like? And I was like, hey, could you make some DDR arrows? And he's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So that happened. Yeah. You like the ITX cases? I do too. I mean, I don't know. I like small PCs. The only thing I'm worried about this one, because I don't have any experience with it, with this particular model, that I'll be ooh, hold on, what can I? I'm kind of dark, aren't I? Sorry. Anyway, is I'm not sure how loud it's going to be. Hopefully it's not too bad, but let's see. Imagine the Dragon's Lair coaster is the skeleton version of the guy. Well, okay, so there. I don't think any of the coasters are double-sided, but the skeleton death scene might be one of them. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've looked through all of them. Recently ordered a Japanese PS2. Found a really good deal for 2DX. Excellent. I hope you have a bunch of fun with that. Okay. Yeah, you saw it. Winners don't use drugs. It's the best. Yeah, I don't have a recycle it, don't trash it. That would be a good one too. The fans in the new case are too loud. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be fine. My biggest worry actually is I went ahead and bought the case that I bought included the power supply, which is not the best power supply. But I went ahead and got it because it was designed for this case, so I could feel more comfortable that like all the cable lengths were going to be reasonable as opposed to ridiculous. Given how little space there's going to be in here, I decided that I was gonna go for convenience. So if the fan on the power supply is noisy, there's a little less that I can do about that. But I guess we'll find out. Oh, you're talking about Micro Center, Termazi? Yeah. If only we had such. All we have is a dead fries. So anyway, I got the Fractal Design Node 202. If anybody's familiar with this one. Let's check this sucker out. It occurred to me right before I went live, I was like, if I open... I haven't opened any of these boxes yet. I was like, watch, I'm going to open one and then something's either going to be broken or missing, and I'll be like, well, this is going to be a real short stream. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I suppose it could. So this guy is designed to be like low and flat or stand upright. So I thought that was kind of neat. How does this... Oh, it's like, how does this stand come off? It just comes off. Oh, first drop. Excellent. Good job, Brian. Love it. Actually, it occurs to me, let me go ahead and rescue that GPU out of the other one before I start. That way it'll already just be ready. Got a little DVI to VGA adapter on here. And this is just like a GTX 950, so it is a decidedly not exciting GPU that's in here, but it's one of those, well, it'll work. All right, but I've always loved these cases because they're a little difficult to work in because they're small, but they're as easy to work in as I think they can be for the size that they are. So I'm kind of gonna miss the shuttle, but well, what can you do, right? Anyway, if you've never seen one of these, one of the things that's kind of... Ooh, wow, this is dusty as hell in here. I mean, it makes sense, actually, given that for the last year, it's been primarily, like, hiding out behind my DDR machine on the floor. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that it's as dusty as it is. Yikes. I mean, it's not terrible. It has a definite, like, a nice even layer of dust over everything, but there aren't like wild dust bunnies running around in here, so it could be a lot worse. But let me turn this around. This is a real comedy show in here, actually. I remember when I put this together, I thought it was pretty hilarious that the GPU, like, just barely fits in there. And actually, I still have an optical drive in here. That tells you how old this computer is. But the optical drive is really kind of pinching the second power, the auxiliary power supply for the GPU. I mean, basically, the plug is plugged into the top of the card, and then the wires are immediately like right angles to fit under there. All right. Oh, I got this out, and then I should use it, shouldn't I? My little my anti-static wristband. This is I'll admit, I am not usually this good about using these, but I figured if I was gonna stream this, I should at least pretend like I do all the right things all the time for the benefit of the stream. Oh, I've got a little, in case. So this is a anti-static mat, and I've got a little port here that the wristband plugs into. And then that is plugged into the ground wire underneath the desk. So theoretically, I'm grounded. I'm grounded. We've all been grounded for like a year. Thanks, COVID. So this drive cage comes out of here. The CD-ROM drive, actually I guess this is a actually, you know what, this is a Blu-ray drive, now that I think about it. Was easy enough to disconnect, but the hard drives are going to be slightly less cooperative, I think. Oh yeah, because there's a little clip here that holds all the cables in place. I really love the way they put these together. I'm not kidding. I am going to be sad to not be working in this. Hopefully the new case is nice, but... Okay, there we go. Ta-da! Okay, so here's what I was talking about, that extra power for the graphics card. You can see how it's like just, oh, duh. I set this whole thing up so that I could do this if I felt like it. Yeah, look at that. Got an extra camera here. You can see, but yeah, you can see how the power was literally just kind of like smashed under there. So, good times. Oh, Termazi, yeah, the empty fries, the dead fries. I mean, I don't know if did you hear that? I mean, they are actually like out of business now, finally. So they finally got put out of their misery. Because for the last, gosh, at least 2 years, if you went to Fry's, was practically nothing to buy. So I just stopped going altogether. But now it is actually dead. For real dead. And then, as far as wow, you know, this card is a lot longer than I remember. I hope it fits in the new case. Guess we'll find out. I'll feel dumb if it won't. I was looking to see if there was one of those little clips on the slot, but it doesn't look like there is. It just pulls out. Ta-da! Okay. I guess I'll reassemble this puppy. As I recall, this motherboard actually does have some onboard graphics, so it should still at least function. You mentioned Best Buy. I did run into Best Buy like a week or so ago, just out of curiosity. I was like, I mean, I didn't expect them to have anything, but I thought, I wonder, you know, do they maybe, what do they have in the way of like GPUs and CPUs? And the answer to the question is, so they have, you know, in the back of the store, they have a lockbox case that has all of the, you know, like high dollar value but small package size computer components. So, well, I guess that's not exactly true. Like graphics cards have a relatively big box, but and so do motherboards. But yeah, basically this case had like motherboards and graphics cards, CPUs, SSDs, particularly the M2 ones, the card ones, the small ones, and RAM in there, and they had plenty of RAM. They had a decent amount of SSDs. They had a couple of motherboards. I think there was like one graphics card in there, and I can't remember if it was like really good or no. It was really bad. It was like a really old one that was just like hanging out in there. And then the shelf of CPUs, it's like they had a decent selection of Intels, probably between 2 and 5 boxes of each model that they had for sale, and then no AMDs at all, no Ryzens at all, like just an empty spot on the shelf where they would normally be. And I was like, yep, this is pretty much how I thought it would be. What did I do here? Oh, here we go. Never mind. Set that aside. Ooh, I need to find some back plates for this if it's going to be like empty. I think I have some sitting around somewhere, but I can worry about that later. So I guess normally I would probably have some music on, or maybe a podcast while I did something like this. But instead, I've got you. I've got you in the chat. And listening to the sound of my own voice. Here in Germany, there are only like a total of 3 General Electronics stores. Yeah, I mean, we don't have much of anything anymore. I mean, Radio Shack's pretty much long gone. Fry's was so good for a long time and until they weren't. Miss having local electronic stores, for sure. Oh, Fuchsia. Yeah, you must not have been here right at the beginning. Yeah, just quick summary. Yes, it was hard to get the CPU, and the GPU I still don't even have, which is why I was just taking the one out of this box. It's right now it's either wait an indefinite amount of time, probably in months, or pay triple or quadruple to some scalper. I chose the former. wait. All right. So let's see how this guy works. I could read the instructions. Which apparently are just the box. But no, I guess there is a manual. I really just need to know how to open it. I assume it's just these 4 screws here on the bottom. All right. Are these number 2 or number 1? Number 2. All right. Yeah. I remember when there used to be all kinds of computer stores around. Because what did we use? We had CompUSA. There was a store called Electech. There was a local place called Eagle Micro. There was Computer Renaissance. And I'm talking that like stores that are within, 20 or 30 minutes of my house. And of course, Radio Shack was a thing still. These are all like 90s, early 2000s stores that are all gone now. They're just not, they don't even exist. More similar to like Best Buy, we had H.H. Gregg, which was like a regional. They were based here, but they were kind of a regional, like, big box electronics and appliance store. But they had some computer stuff. Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, obviously you can get all this kind of stuff on like Newegg and Amazon and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you want it right now, your options are at least limited, but quite possibly just like unavailable. All right, so it says to remove those screws, and then the top cover, that was the bottom, but the top cover is supposed to just pop off. Oh yeah, there it goes. That's not too bad. All right, so the power supply is already in here. That's good. I believe you are supposed to be able to put a full ATX power supply in here, like a full-size one. So I guess if life sucks later, I can always get something else, but like I said, I went with the convenience of just getting theirs. This is an impossibly long twist tie holding these cables together here. Wow, this is interesting. Oh. Huh. So they put an angled power connector on here. But because it was angled, it made it look small, but it's just standard. Where does that go? Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay, that's interesting. Because this is actually the front corner where the power supply lives. So there's an angled plug that goes from where you would normally plug in a power supply, right? Through the machine and then out the back corner to actually like plug it into the wall. Got it. Very, very tricky. Let's see. You know of a mall full of computer stores here. Wow. And you complain about not having stuff. I don't remember a mall full of computer stores ever, even when like it was a big deal. Or even when it was I guess it's still a big deal, but even when, you know, in the heyday, like I was talking about before, like in the 90s. So, lucky you. Will this stream also feature the OS installation? Probably not. That's boring. If I get it, my goal is to get it, like, if we can see the BIOS screen and it'll be like, hey, I did it. Could I technically put the monitor on the case? I don't think so, actually, because there's vent holes on basically every side of the case. So you would be screwing up the ventilation, which, you know, in modern computers is a bad time if you actually set the monitor on the case. Fortunately, though, the case does seem to have a metal frame. There's some plastic in here, but the actual frame of it does seem to be metal, so it probably would at least support it. But I'm not intending to do that. I'm also thinking back to the days when, like, we had CRTs, you know, and it's like, can I put this 100-pound CRT on top of the PC? And back in the day, you could. Wouldn't want to do that anymore. All right. So let's see what we got here. Well, I said that this power supply was already in here, but I don't know that it's mounted. It feels very very loosey-goosey. Remove top cover. Remove bottom cover. Oh. Oh, okay. They're just little plastic tabs all around, it looks like, to remove the bottom cover. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Was it a Radio Shack when Radio Shack shut down? Oh, like the nearest Radio Shack to me? Yeah, I think so. I can't think of any. I honestly, other than mall locations, which, you know, when a store in a mall closes, typically it gets filled by something else pretty quick, if the mall's doing what they're supposed to be doing. But I can't think of any like standalone Radio Shacks that became anything else prior to just shutting down. But I can remember going to a couple of the like going out of business sale for some Radio Shacks. They didn't really have anything all that interesting though. By the time I got there, so I see 3 tabs on each side. I'm looking for the tabs on the front and back though. And of course it's doing that thing, right, where you pop the tabs and then when you go for the other side, they pop back in. Cuz that's how it always goes, right? Okay, so there's one. I'm looking at the diagram. There's 2. Is it 2 on the front and 1 in the back, or 1 in the front and 2 in the back? 1 in the front, 2 in the back. Okay. Hey, Dad, you have an Antec case that I could have, but it's over 10 years old. Well, I think that predates Mini-ITX, so that's... Well, I guess a Mini-ITX board will fit in a full-size ATX case. But no, the whole point is I wanted to build a small case, and I'm guessing whatever you have is not that small, or not this small. So this is not as pleasant as a shuttle. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now. And also, I'm gonna take this wristband off for a second because there's nothing in here that I can really static zap anyway, and it's just getting in the way. And I also think I'll do this. Probably have to readjust my camera a little bit, or is that still okay? Yeah, I'll adjust it a little bit. Okay. I am still not finding the ones on the back. Where are you at? Where are you at, friends? Oh, I see them. Okay. Yeah, there we go. God, I hate that. Whenever you're popping plastic tabs and it's just like, God, did I just break it? But nope. Okay, I guess that wasn't so bad. Motherboards have evolved. Yeah, they sure have. There's a whole bunch of different form factors now. Because what do you got? You got your full-size ATX. You got your... What's a step down from that? I guess they call it micro ATX, right? There isn't a mini ATX, I don't think. And then you get down to what? This is mini IT. Is there an ITX that's not mini? I don't even know. And then there's like DTX, which is like slightly bigger than mini ITX. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different form factors. I'm looking to see how this power supply is even mounted in here, because it feels like it's only mounted in one, like by like one screw, because it feels like it's gonna just like jump out of here. Oh. I guess it actually is. It really is just held in by one screw. It's apparently this screw right here. When you pull that out, yeah. Yep, there it is. Because they show you putting this little shroud around the back, I guess, of it, which uses the normal like mounting holes that you would see on a normal power supply, well, a regular power supply, I guess. And then there's just the one hole that holds it all in place. Well, that's, or the one screw. That's it's not my favorite. I mean, I guess it's fine. It shouldn't, it's not like it should be, nothing should be pulling on it. It doesn't have to be like supportive, but I don't know. I guess I wish there were at least two. One seems a little one. It's micro. Yeah, I thought so. Oh yeah, well, if you're talking about Pi and Chrome stuff, I mean, those are all, we're getting outside of the PC space at that point. But yeah, of course, those are going to be even smaller still. All right. Well, so that's in there. Prepare your butthole. No, prepare the motherboard is what it says. I always find this, so I've watched some build videos recently, and I find it interesting that it seems like the thing to do now, and maybe it's just the ITX form factor, but it seems like the thing to do these days is to build the motherboard, like put the processor and the memory and everything on it, and then put it into the case. I'm so used to doing it the other way, like put the motherboard in and then add all the stuff to it. But that's fine. We can do it this way. Just gonna wipe down my surface a little bit here. Just got a little bit of dust probably from the old box when I opened it here, that I don't care to transfer into the new box immediately. All right. Let's open up this little baby, my little baby board. I feel a little goofy buying these. So many of these things are all like blah 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 gaming. You're a gamer now, doing gaming, and I'm like, I guess. Like I said, I actually don't do very much gaming on my PCs, but that's fine. There's probably like LED lights and shit on this one that I'll never see because this case is not for that. Wow, there's just a trillion accessories down in the bottom of this box. We'll get to those in a minute. All right. But yeah, So there you go, Dad. The whole ass motherboard that's, you know, about the size of my head, maybe. This is what we're dealing with here, which is why, like, if I just wanted a I've got plenty of cases. I've got a whole graveyard of like full size ATX cases that I definitely don't want to use for anything anytime soon. All right, and I am going to be I am not I'm not a power builder here, guys. So this will be the intent here is to be a very decent machine, but not anything like crazy. Crazy super powered or anything like that. I don't even own a 4K monitor or television. So like none of that matters to me. So I shouldn't say, like, it's not that 4K doesn't matter to me. It's that my 1080 monitors and TVs are all still working, and I'm perfectly satisfied with those. So I'll just keep using them until they die, and then I'll worry about it. Not this monitor, obviously. This monitor is probably 20 years old. This is this desk here actually is kind of like my workstation that I usually do electronics repair and stuff like that. And you can see over here, over on this side, I've got like a little arcade power supply and a little converter board, video converter board. So I'll work on like game boards, arcade game boards in this space. So this is just a monitor that's here so that I can test that kind of stuff out if I need to. It has some, like, it's 4x3 and it's kind of small, so it makes it actually pretty good and convenient for most arcade stuff, and not, and it also has some crappy speakers in it that, you know, again, it's good enough to, is this working? Yes. Ooh, I didn't put this back on and I've been handling my motherboard. Shame on me. Okay. Man, it has been a very long time since I have put together 2 PCs since that shuttle box that I pulled the GPU out of earlier. I put together one for Belinda and then one for some friends of ours. But even that's going to be 4 or 5 years ago, the last one of those, and they were all Intel boxes. So it's been a long time since I put together an AMD box. What is this? Do I care? Let me just sanity check myself here. All right. Seems pretty normal. But I got to take off these well, I guess I can. It actually, in the instructions, has me installing the chip and then pulling off the fan retainers. So I guess I can do that. All right. Pin 1 indicator. And okay, so there is pin 1 there. So it looks like it goes like that. And of course they usually set these up so you can't like screw it up, right? Yeah, because that one's squared off and the other ones are angled. Okay, cool. There we go. Oh, I'm a liar. I guess it's not saying to take these off, it's saying to put these on, but they already exist as part of the motherboard, so I don't have to. Okay. And I am just using the fan that comes with this processor and the thermal pad that comes with it too, so I realize that that's like not that is not exciting, but oh, no, I'm wrong. Apparently for this style, you just remove these because the screws for the fan go straight into the motherboard. Okay. I can deal with that. I have a big head. Is my head too big in the frame? I'm sorry. What else has evolved? Gosh. What hasn't evolved at this point? But so many of these standards are still based around, you know, pretty old, well-established things. Like all of these are, all of this stuff is still like based around ATX, which has been around for freaking ever at this point. Does it matter if I go this way or the other way? I want to go the other way, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, I want to go this way because otherwise this little bump on the fan will block the RAM sockets, whatever. And I don't want that. That makes such a nice sound. Since there's like a spring in there too. Oh man, that's awful. It's not. Soldering isn't the what are we talking about? Irons? I do have a soldering iron right here. It's not on right now, and I definitely shouldn't need it for this project, but actually the next stream I'm planning to do, which might happen today, but I might wait till tomorrow, we'll see. I will be doing some soldering, so. And I think the other iron that my dad is talking about is like, you know, a clothing iron. I do iron my own. I do iron shirts. Not like t-shirts, but like button-down shirts. Because I don't like being wrinkly. God, why does that sound so horrid? Thanks, I hate it. That screw doesn't want to thread for some reason. Oh, I see. The spring is being too springy. There we go. Okay. Get threaded, so I just gotta get it. Yep. All the way in. Cool, cool. All right. Ta-da! And then I guess this is my fan header. Or I need a fan header to plug this onto. Oh, here they are. Oh, there's 3. Does it matter which one I plug it into? Probably. Oh yeah, here we go. CPU fan. Chassis fan. Okay, I'm not sure what the middle one is, but CPU looks like the one on the end. So just plug that puppy in right there. Groovy. Okay. Well, that's the CPU. Whoop-de-doo. It's CPU. Let me pull out my little Ryzen sticker. There we go. I guess I'll put that on later. Put all this stuff back in. Oh, wait. Important. Please read. The AMD Ryzen 5000 series desktop processor contained in this package is compatible with AMD's socket AM4 motherboards when a compatible BIOS update has been installed. Okay. That's fine. This motherboard is supposed to be compatible, so don't know if I'll need I'll need a BIOS update for it or not, but I think I can handle that. All right, you're done. I think I'm actually going to move to the SSD rather than the RAM, since the RAM sticks up, I'll leave it to last. Okay. This will be my first time with one of these M2. I've done, what was the standard before this? It was M-SATA, right? My laptop has M-SATA. Actually, that shuttle box that I pulled the GPU out of earlier, that has M-SATA. So I've done that, and this is pretty similar, physically anyway. Obviously, the interface is way newer and more advanced, because this board is actually supposed to be PCIe 4 for the GPU and the SSD. So this thing should be screaming freaking fast. In theory. Oh man, look at all this goofiness. Little sticker sheet. Republic of Gamers. For those who dare. I'm gonna trick out my box with frickin' be like a race car with logos all over it. Probably not gonna do that. Oh, look at that, a CD. You know what I didn't spec for this box? An optical drive. You know what I do have, though? I do have some USB, like DVD, CD writer drives. So if I actually needed it, I could. But I'm just looking in here real quick because I was reading, or I looked at some reviews of this case, and people mentioned that the little plate over the M2 drive socket is a little can be a little fussy. So I just want to make sure if there's any tips in here. M2 slot, page 1-10. Oh yeah, and also there's two M2 slots, one of which is PCIe 4 and the other one of which is PCIe 3. Oh, look at that, I forgot to plug in the camera again. 1 second, please. This has happened on my stream a few times, for those of you who have been watching. However, when it has happened in the past, it was just me being stupid and forgetting that I had unplugged it for some reason. This time, it's... there's a slightly legitimate reason that it was not plugged in, and it's because I actually moved the camera. So, whoops. My bad. Yard work is one of the few things you do better than me. Well, if you do it at all, then yes, you do it better than me. I hate yard work. I mean, I'll mow the lawn because I have to, but I'll complain about it the entire time because I don't even like being outside that much. I'm trying to decide if these are Philips 1 or 0. It doesn't really say. This is a 1, and it feels decent. Okay, yeah, and it's all right. Well, it came right out. I don't know. Some of the build videos that I watched on this one, they were like, man, or I guess they weren't the videos. They were like reviews I saw on this motherboard. They're like, man, I stripped these screws out, and I'm like, okay, that sucks. But oh yeah, there is a little bit of thread locker on there though, but it's blue. All right, so there's the. Oh, neat. The heat plate, heat spreader jobby. Okay, and then here is the retention screw. Oh, I guess I should have done this, shouldn't I have? Rah, Domo. So I'm just working. I'll put it. That's actually slightly worse for me, angle-wise, but should be better for you to see. Here I'm dealing with this guy. But yeah, I was just pulling out the little retention screw here. Oh no. Thank you. All right, so which one of these is slot 1 and which is slot 2? Oh, okay. Slot. So M2 number 1 is PCIe 4. That's the top side, so this one. M2 number 2, which is PCIe 3, is the bottom. So, yeah, look at that. There actually is another one on the bottom side of the board. Well, how about that? Well, we're gonna use the top one. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me put my wrist strap back on. And yeah, so this should work about the same as the M-SATAs that I'm used to. It's just longer. Plug it in the slot there. Push it down. Put the little retaining screw in. And nice. And then it says I'm supposed to remove this. So that must be like a heat pad. I was a little surprised there wasn't like a protective layer on the heat pad for the CPU, but there wasn't. So, oh well. Oh yeah, that's sticky. That's weird though, because there's a label on top of this. So, well, I guess it is what it is, huh? All right, there they are. So there's one long ass screw and one short screw. So there's the long screw, there's the short screw. Yeah, I'm not sure why people had trouble with these. Maybe they were using the wrong screwdriver, because that worked just fine. I didn't have any trouble with that at all. Screws have a lot of threads, though. All right. Guess we're ready for RAM. Gamers. A 2 gig USB drive with the drivers on it would probably be more convenient. You're not wrong. Working with slightly old arcade hardware, that where the game is still on an optical disc, I'm glad that I do still have optical drives like ready to use. But I definitely don't use them very often. So, yeah. It was interesting. This RAM, I'm a big fan of Crucial. I've been using Crucial memory in basically all of my PCs, even my laptops when I upgrade them, for forever, for a long, long time. Number one, they're an American company, which is kind of neat. But number two, like, they back their stuff. I have had very little trouble with their RAM, but on a couple of occasions when I have had an issue where, like, a computer just stopped working for whatever reason, and it came down to, oh, the RAM went bad. It was a very simple, usually like chat or email with their support and be like, here's what happened. And they're like, how did you diagnose this? And I'll be like, I pulled RAM out of another box and it worked. This RAM doesn't work. And they're like, okay, good enough. And they just sent me new ones. Then it didn't matter how old it was. They just made it right. And so I'm very pleased with their customer service. Oh, I guess it only pops open on one side. All right, that's fine. Interestingly, though, these red ones, for some reason, were cheaper than black, and also cheaper than nothing, like with no heat spreader or any kind of like fanciness on them. Ooh, I don't like that at all. It is literally in contact with the fan. I mean, I guess it clears, but that is not my favorite. It just barely clears. All right, well, guess that's how it's gonna be. It's funny because this is 2 8GB sticks, so total of 16 gigabytes, and the whatchamacall, my laptop, which like I said is from like 2013, I think. I spec'd that with 16 gigs of RAM, and I felt like pretty hot shit at the time. And now 16 gigs is like, I mean, it's still good. There are plenty of systems that are still only 8, but it is definitely not the holy shit, Brian, you really went all out that it was 8 years ago. It's well, you did all right, I guess. But again, like I've been saying this whole time, the computers that I have are both the old shuttle and the my laptop are both doing fine for me for 80 to 90% of the things that I do with it. This is really it should do it better. Plus, like I said, I'm preemptively trying to get into a new machine before anything breaks. That way I can do it on my own terms rather than scrambling when something breaks. Alrighty. It's like a couple mil out. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. Okay, I see it. It's if the stick did not have a heat spreader on it, it would have clearance. But because there's a heat spreader on it, that heat spreader is actually in contact with the edge of the fan. Like I said, I don't like that, but it's not enough that it's actually like putting sideways pressure on the RAM socket or on the RAM slot or the stick or anything like that. I think it might be pushing the heat spreader a tiny bit, but it's above where the chips are, so it does have a little bit of like flex there that should be fine. Like I said, I don't love that, but it'll be okay. Can I just tuck this like down in here, or is it gonna get like stuck on the blades? I don't know. I think that'll work. All right. Well, I guess this is our little motherboard. I love how cute and small it is. Oh, I forgot. I'm an idiot. I'm not going to bother with it now, but one of the things that I really like about the shuttle boxes, which I was going to point out while I had it taken apart before, but I forgot, is they come with a heat pipe system, and so on the CPU, there's a flat piece that mounts like a fan in a heatsink would, but it is very flat. It only comes up, like maybe half an inch above the CPU, if that. And then it has these like heat pipes that go out the back up into a big heat sink and fan that is mounted on the back of the case on the inside. And what's nice about that is it leaves a lot of extra area above the motherboard, which actually is like where the drive bays kind of sit down farther, which you wouldn't be able to do if there was a big fan there. And then also they're able to put like a rather large heatsink back there in the back with a fan that is a little larger and spins a little bit slower, and it's able to do the same work but be in a less intrusive place. So this is a much more like typical design where it's just like, well, here's a heatsink and a fan, just smash it right down on top of there and call it good. But all right, so I guess that's done. So let me set that over there and go ahead and grab the case again, which I set down here. One of the things that the reviews were talking about with this case, which is nice, is it has these magnetic dust filters for where all the fans would go, which is great, except that they live underneath the plastic. Well, actually, I guess it's not plastic. It's metal and plastic underneath that the shell, which you saw me struggle to get off. So it's like, this was a good idea, and it's better than nothing, but it's actually still kind of hard to deal with. But at least there's a filter. Because computers are disgusting inside, oftentimes. Oh man, when I was working in IT and people's machines would break and they'd bring them to me, sometimes I would open them up and I would just be like, good Lord, what did you do in here? I saw some really gross shit. Most of the time it was fine. Like, most of the time it was just dust and whatever. But sometimes it's just like, especially laptops. Laptops were the worst. Because it's like you pull the keyboard out and it's like, as you're pulling the keyboard away, like chips and like food particles are like falling out of it. And you're just like, ugh. Gross. All right. So let me get this stuff out of the way here. I'm not certain if you're supposed to pull that off, but you're probably going to have to. Install the I/O panel. Oh, okay. Our happy backplane. Sunshine Camo. Hi. Hello. And those are snacks saved for later. Thanks, Tim. Oh, jeez. All right. Does that actually clip in there at all? That's just friction, isn't it? Yeah. Nope, it does clip. Yay. I think I pushed it too much. There we go. Okay. Cool, cool. So I am going to have to get these out of the way here. Can I switch this back on? Does it? Let me relocate that, maybe. Come on, you're a webcamera. You should be able to clip onto things. There we go. That's not the worst. Also not the best, but not the worst. Okay. Excuse me, sir. I apparently just gendered my motherboard. Whatever. Good job, Brian. Can't decide if I want to leave these ties in these slots. I guess I can, in case I need to use them. I mean, I will need to use them. I just might rather use ones that aren't 15 feet long. They're not that long, but they are very long. Like, they're remarkably long. Okay. Here we go. Wrong. I guess I do need to push that I/O plate in a little bit more. There we go. I guess it was supposed to snap all the way in. Come on, you. There. All right. Now maybe the holes will line up. Yeah. Okay. Accessory box contents. Oh, cable ties. Nice. Motherboard screw are in here. Good. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, they did give me some cable ties. All right. In that case, I am gonna take these twisties out of here because they're ridiculously long. Plus, I have a whole box of cable ties, so I don't know what I'm worried about. See what I mean? Look at that thing. That's almost a foot. It is nice to be able to stand sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and slide these ties in there, though, so that they're there in case I need to use them, because it'll probably be easier to do it now than when the motherboard is on there. And someone is messaging me. Ugh, what's up? Yes. Someone asking me about my second COVID shot. I can answer them later, though. But yeah, I got a call from the pharmacy earlier today, and they were like, come at the same time that you... It'll be Tuesday, and they're like, just come at the same time that you did last time. And I'm like, okay. This is slightly annoying. I'm going to pull the power supply out of there for a second. I guess that's one nice thing about it being only one screw. There we go. I guess I should go the other way with it. This is at like the exact wrong angle for me to see what I'm doing. Why are you fighting me? Don't fight. There we go. I see. The zip tie was actually holding it slightly out of position, so the hole wasn't lining up. There we go. Much better. Silly me. Gotta use... Trying to do cable management. What was I thinking? All right. Back to this. All right, groovy. Where did those screws go? Here they are. First time watching a Brian stream and showering at the same time. That's impressive. Did you take your phone into the shower with you? Is that what you're doing? If you remember from one of my recent streams, you are probably in a condition where the Xbox would recognize you. Is it bad that you recognize the motherboard model by sight? No, actually, of my friends, Tim, I would expect... Well, I guess I wouldn't say I would expect it from you, but I am not at all surprised by it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. So there's like... here we go. Motherboard screw. Has a flat head to it, but none of these look like that. Okay, so those are the drive screws for sure. All right. Are you using this motherboard too, Tim? You'll be like, no, that thing's a piece of crap. And I'll be like, well, okay. You got Pfizer round 2 on the 22nd. All right, nice. You left the phone in the washing sink. Okay. Well, you know, like phones, a lot of phones are waterproof now, or water resistant. So you could theoretically take it into the shower with you, I suppose. I believe these are the 4 that I'm looking for. Jeez. I wish they had put them in different baggies or something to make them a little easier to identify what was what. You have the Gigabyte B550, okay. But you looked at this one too. Cool. Burkhead, also working on a PC. Excellent. Yeah, I kind of picked the Asus. Like I looked at the, I think I looked at the Gigabyte one as well. I was actually really considering getting the what is it, the X570 chipset, but I couldn't find anybody that had stock of those, so I went with this one instead. And I looked at the Gigabyte too, and really I think the only reason I ended up with the Asus is just, I think, well, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, that doesn't feel right at all. I've been building shuttle boxes for so long, which come with a motherboard, so I haven't had to select a motherboard in quite a while. But I think the last one that I did years and years ago was an Asus, and I don't remember having a bad experience with it, so I figured I'd give them another shot. That feels like it's cross-threading, which is not making me feel very happy right now. I guess it's okay. Yeah. What you're saying about the 570, I was that's what that was my assessment too, that I'm given the build size that I chose, that it probably wouldn't get me very much. But I think my thought was that the X570 wasn't a ton more expensive, and I was kind of thinking that if something happened and I wanted to be able to upgrade, that it might give me a little bit of breathing room. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. With in this case, and with only having one slot anyway, it's kind of pointless. So you built an ITX also, Tim? What case did you end up with? $5,000 series CPUs last on the AM4 platform anyway. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying earlier too, is I didn't pick the best of anything on this build, but it's been so long since I've built anything that basically anything I built is going to be like crazy better than what I already have, so I'm not super duper worried about it. The Ryzen Tech. I don't know that case. I'll have to look it up later. Sounds good. Berkant, the CPU, it's the 5600X. So the lowest end of the Zen 3s right now. Weird little case with poor traditional airflow, but your CPU and GPU are water cooled. Oh, cool. The 5600X is one of the best CPUs out right now. Doesn't right? Well, yeah. I just mean it's the lowest end of the AMD's current generation offerings. Definitely no slouch. And I just like, yeah. That was the other thing is I just one of the other reasons why I wanted to build something new is I'm done with Intel for a little while. I think I'm going back to the AMD camp. It's been a while since I've been here, but I'm looking forward to it. They certainly never did me wrong. It's just it kind of goes in cycles, right? Where one of them is better, and then the other one catches up and overtakes them. And it goes back and forth. Except I feel like this time, so like Intel's been on top for a little while, or well, actually, the Ryzen's been since the Ryzen's been out, Intel hasn't really been on top. But prior to that, Intel had been pretty much the performance leader, but now I feel like AMD not only caught up and overtook them, but they overtook them by a wider margin than I think either of them has ever overtaken the other one before. Like, crazy good. All right, where am I at now? I'm up to install 2.5-inch drives. I'm actually not installing any 2.5-inch drives, at least not right away. They actually go in. Hold on, let me. Yeah, this is actually the drive cage right here. So you just take this one screw out, and then the drives mount in on either side here, and you plug them in. But I didn't actually spec any 2.5-inch drives for this one, so I'm just gonna skip that step for now. I might put one in later if I need some more storage, but for the moment, I'm good. Prepare the riser card. So this is interesting because rather than sticking up out of the board, there's a riser card that lets you put the graphics card in flat, like over here. So this will be interesting. Gosh, I haven't worked with a riser card on anything in a hot minute. But I kind of decided I'd rather go low and flat on this one rather than taller and cubey. AMD's server game is absolutely destroying Intel right now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brandon was telling me all about that stuff. The epics, I guess, is that line, right? Hopefully I'll be done with this soon because I'm starting to get a little bit hungry. All right. Okay, so this goes like that, and then the whole thing goes into here. Interesting. All right, and then there's 3 screws, which are over here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I see the hole. Are these not the right screws? Check. Nope, these are too big. Okay. It's interesting because in the box it said that there would be 3 riser card screws, and so those were 3 screws that looked the same. So I set them aside, but it must be one of the other ones in here. Groovy. Like I said, I wish the screws were a little bit more clear. Are these the right ones then? That at least fits, okay. So it looks like they're the same as the drive screws. And this is not a new problem or unique in any way, but I wish that they had at some point decided, like, this is the screw that we use for all the things inside a computer. Because they definitely didn't do that. And I can't, because it's like your 2.5-inch bay drives use one kind of screw, and your 3.5-inch bay drives use a different kind of screw, and that may or may not be the same as the screw that, you know, holds your motherboard in and holds the cards in, and all. And the thing is with the exception of like these little tiny baby screws on like the M2, like I get that. I get why those are the way they are. But the rest of them, it's like they're all close enough to each other. Well, first of all, they're close enough to each other to be annoying because you pick them up and then it like doesn't fit right, and or maybe sort of fits right, and then you strip it out or do something terrible. But yeah, I don't know. There's just, it seems like there's 3 or 4 different kinds of screws for things in PCs that don't need to be different. Like they could be the same. But, and I get it. It's they all kind of got chosen independently, and then we're just sort of stuck with them now. But that's why I was saying I wish at some point they had just decided, no, we're gonna rethink this and make it right, make it better. But that clearly has not happened. By the way, if the GPU has issues, set the PCIe slot to Gen 3 in the BIOS. Most riser cables don't play well with Gen 4. That is fine, because this is actually, you joined late, but I'm actually putting a PCIe 3 video card in here anyway, because I just stole the card out of my old machine, because I have not been able to get a new card yet without paying, 4 times what it's worth, and I don't want to do that. Was I supposed to put the graphics card in before I put the cage in? I think I was, actually. Is this going to work? I might have to take it back out. We'll see. You mean I didn't want to spend $1,500 for a GPU? Correct. In fact, I actually only want to spend about... I want to spend under $200 for a GPU, which I realize is not like a super great GPU, but it's fine for what I'm trying to do, because I don't really game that much on my PCs. Yeah, I actually was... All I really want is a 1650. I guess a 1650 Super, since that's a thing now. And I would be totally fine with that, which should be a $160 to maybe $200 card at the most. But yeah, exactly. Like you said, right now, to get someone to sell you one of those, they want like $500 or $600, and it's just like, well, then I should be, like, at that price, I ought to be looking at the 30 something or other, or at least the 20 something or other. But yeah, we'll just I'm just gonna play the waiting game a little longer and wait it out and use this old this is actually just I think this is a 950. just use this for a while longer. I had to wait, I think, like 2.5, almost 3 months to get the CPU. So oh, I see. Yeah, I think I was supposed to put the card in prior to like install the card into the riser and then drop the whole riser in there, because there's a little lip on the case once the riser's installed that makes it actually a little bit tough to screw in the back plate of the graphics card. It's fine. It worked. All right, there it is. Well, it's got plenty of space. That's totally all right. You managed to get a 1060 for under 90. Wow, you did well. Actually, a 1060 for under $95, like, that's cheap even for like normal price, isn't it? But yeah, I refuse to pay a scalper for a video card right now. Adjust the graphics card support. Oh, neat. So, let's see if you can see this here. There's this little, like, stand, and it's got a little cushion on it, and it's angled. So I guess you're supposed to, here we go. So you unscrew it, and then you slide it in to support the card, and then screw it back in. That's nice. It's a nice little touch. Makes life a little better. So yeah, now that is holding up the card so that it's not droopy. Pretty slick. I dig it. All right, let's see. You got a top-end 2080 Ti for $600 when people were panic selling after the 3000 announcement. Oh, nice. Yeah, again, like I don't have a need for that good of a graphics card, but yeah, if I'm paying $600, then absolutely I want something like that. But right now it's like the 1650 is $600, and it's like, seriously? No thanks. Wanted to wait for the 3060, and now you're more happy with the card I got at the end. Yeah. Apparently a lot of people sold their 2000 series and then weren't able to find a 3000 in stock after launch. Yeah. It definitely seems like it is not easy to get well, anything. Connect cables for front I/O. Okay. Where are you at? Ah. Okay. Oh, so there's a USB. Oh. I probably should have pushed this through before I put the GPU in there, but eh. But apparently with this case, you're supposed to, in addition, like you can see there's enough space there, you can install large fans to supplement the GPU as well. I don't know if I'm going to bother, but apparently that is a thing you can do. Okay, so I need to send these front panel connectors over to the motherboard side. And I need to pull the PCIe power connector over to the GPU side. Things I could have done ahead of time, but didn't. But I don't think it's the end of the world. What is that? There's like a little bit of a greasy spot on the GPU from, gosh, I don't know what. The old machine, I guess. Where was my little... Ooh, that was almost bad. Good thing I already pretty much finished that. Just wipe that up a little bit. All right. You heard a phone alarm. Yep, there was. It's telling me it's 6:45. So I've been working on this for a little bit. No wonder I'm hungry, though. It's almost dinner time. I mean, it could be dinner time. Oh, there's actually 2 of these. Okay. I love how power hungry these damn things are. Maybe I should have put the... Well, I can tie that up in a minute. What does this look like over here? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to have to route these in a better way so that they won't get in the way of the fan. Now, this is the fun part, right? Where you get all the cables to go in places. And of course, especially in this size of a build, that's a trick. You hate that sound because it's the same one that makes you up at 6. Yeah, if I'm up at 6, it's because I haven't gone to bed yet. I do not want to wake up that early. Okay, so these are drive bay power, so I can kind of put these over here by where the drive would be, but I'm not using them, so they can just be out of the way. This is motherboard power, so let me plug that in. Okay, oh, it's right there. Great. And then what was this one? Oh, that's... Okay, more motherboard power. I don't remember that being 8 pins, the supplementary power for the motherboard. Is that new? I remember there being an extra, like, 12-volt power supply for the motherboard, but I don't remember it being 8 pins worth. Everything's power hungry now. Or so it seems. That's better. Setting up this table as a workbench and putting a decent light on it was one of the best things I've done in the last year. It is very nice to have. Man, there is so little space in here. Trying to fish out the zip ties I put down there earlier, because they're just laying flat, so I'm trying to get them up to where I can actually like use them for something. This is one of those times where I'm glad I don't have really big hands. Because I can actually like get my fingers down in to relatively small spaces. Stop. Stop fighting me. Cool. Let's see. You have to get up at 6 every morning for school. Well, I don't envy you for that. The 8-pin is new. It's 2 4-pins together. Okay, that's what I thought. That it was like I remembered the 4-pin, but the 8 was like news to me. Yeah, and about this desk, that was the interesting thing. So this is my old like regular desk that I, used as a desk. And obviously it's a convertible, like, standing desk. But it, like, broke on me. The standing part, the brain part that where I can, push the button and it goes up and down, it got it started messing up, where you're supposed to be able to, like, program a standing height and a sitting height so that you can just push a button and it'll go back to that position for you. But it would just lose that setting all the time. And when it would lose the setting, it would also cause it to where you would have to reset the whole system. And basically to do that, you would have to, like, hold down a couple of buttons or whatever on the desk until it would beep. And then you would have to, like, lower the desk all the way so it would find the end. And then it would work normally again. And it just got kind of annoying. And so I called the company and I was like, hey, this stopped working. And they're like, oh, and they were like, well, that's no good. But as it turned out, the desk was still under warranty, so they were going to warranty it for me, but they don't make this, they don't use this same, like, motor system anymore. So they were going to send me a new motor system, but the new, well, they couldn't send me just the new motor system because what they use now is built into the frame of the desk. So they were going to send me a whole new desk frame with the new motor and the control box and everything for free, which was great. And I was just going to have to, like, take the desktop, the actual top part off and put it on the new frame. But I was like, I was thinking, well, this is still, even if it didn't work to move up and down, it still is a decent desk. Like, it works as a desk. And so I was like, can I just buy a new desktop to put on the frame that you're sending me for warranty? And they're like, sure. So I paid, I think it was like $80 or whatever for a new, like, top. And that's so basically for $80, I got a whole brand new desk, a whole brand new standing desk. And then I moved my old one over here to use as a work table. And then for whatever reason, just the act of moving it over here, now it works fine. I don't know why, because I definitely went through, like, a bunch of troubleshooting steps with them, with their customer support, and they're like, do this thing and do this thing, and I was like, yeah, okay, and they're like, well, I guess it's broken, we'll just send you a new one. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was resigned for this to just be either sitting or standing. Like I said, you could still adjust it, it just meant that you had to, like, reset it every time, which was kind of a pain in the butt. But I was like, that's fine. Still a desk. But as it turns out, now that it's over here, it works just fine. Go figure. But speaking of which, I think I've actually been standing long enough. I'm gonna sit back down for a bit. Be lazy. Gotta move this camera, I guess. All right. Having this nice bright light is great for my old eyes. I definitely struggle if there's not enough light. Okay, so this one goes here, right? Yep. So that's the USB. And then this is the oh, this is the audio connector. Where are you at? Oh, hey, Barricade. Thanks. I hope it'll be nice. Where is the audio connector? Oh. 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 Good Lord. All right. Well, that's inconvenient. It's like hiding out under this over here. No wonder I didn't see it, though. Take this little plate off, it looks like, to be able to plug it straight down. Oops, other way. Okay. So just got to get these front panel connectors in, and you and this old shit. Oh, I do not look 22. Thank you. But I definitely don't look that old or that young. I mean, yes, I will accept as a compliment that I look younger than I am. But 22 is definitely pushing that. pushing believability. Where is the front panel? There it is. System panel header. Front panel. Got it. Okay. I'm gonna hold off. Well, no, I guess. Jeez. Let me pull these back for a second, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to route them in a moment. Okay. And then the front. Panel connector. What do we got here? Oh, good, they're labeled. Power LED, power switch. Oh, power LED plus and minus, power switch. Is that it? Where's my turbo button? Lol. I guess I don't get a I guess I don't get a reset button, though. That's not really a thing anymore, is it? Okay, so it's those two there. God, this is so... Again, I'm glad I don't have big hands, because this is... There is not much room to work in here at all. Is there no hard drive light on this case? I guess there isn't. Well, that's too bad. I'm old school. I still like status lights. I like to be able to see that something is supposedly happening. But yeah, it doesn't look like they included a hard drive status light on here at all. There's a place for it on the motherboard, but there's not. There is no light on the front panel to plug into it. So, oh well. Okay, so here's the part where I figure out if I can use these ties that I put in there. I'm actually going to turn this around for me. I guess this one's... Oh, I can... Hang on, I'm going to pull the... motherboard connector out for a second, because I want to put this one in behind it. There we go. good. Just grabbing some little needle nose pliers to grab the other end of that zip tie. All right. There we go. Got it. I just realized I didn't put my wrist strap back on. All right. Does this qualify for ASMR? Me scraping around inside this case. Probably. I think those are going to be the ones that I just the 12 volt connector and the main power pass-through cable are going to be the ones that I tie here. There's a couple I could tie the front panel connector in there, but I don't think that'll be very helpful to me. And then the other cables won't really benefit either, because they're not in a position that tying them down in these two places is going to make any sense. Literally threading the needle here of the zip tie. There we go. Okay, I have not tightened them, really. They're just kind of holding on. But that's what I want, because I don't want to, because I still want to be able to, like, move them, shift them around, and route them at this point. that one to go around the corner there. Or do I want to maybe have it out? It's kind of on the other side of this cable that I want it to be, so I'm pulling it back through there. Okay, yeah. That's better. This is always the hardest part of these jobs, isn't it? Cable management. I mean, unless you just want to toss it in there and have it look like shit, I suppose. That is an option. Although in these small case builds, you're often not able to just toss it in there and leave it looking like shit because it just straight up won't fit. Motherboard connector is being a pain. Alright, so I gotta figure out what I'm doing with this, because that clearly won't do. I think I goofed. Put this on the other side. I guess this power cable is going to have to be just like that, which is fine. It's not really hurting anything. It's just all these front panel connectors, front panel cables that need to go somewhere, that need to do better. Are you? Awesome. I moved it to one side and then immediately wish I hadn't. This is the fun part, right? You taking off, Burkant? Wishing me good luck. Thank you, sir. I think think I'm on the home stretch here. Get out of the way there, get out of the way there. How done am I? Probably pretty close. Of course, as soon as I say that, it'll just take longer, right? But I would guess, I'm hoping I'll be done in maybe another half hour. Thanks, Creative Cloud, for telling me that I need an update. Wonder what triggered that. Look at me using these cable ties like I care. I do care. Is there enough space for me to use my zip tie gun? Yeah. Oh, that didn't cut the way I wanted it to at all. I think these cable ties are a little small for this gun. Nope, that one worked. Gonna need my flush cutter for that other one. It didn't snap the way I wanted it to. At least it tightened it though. There we go. All better. Now, how about these? I don't think there's enough room in there for these. Nope. Gonna have to do those the old-fashioned way. I can get it on this one though. Nice. Beautiful. Yeah, there's just not enough room for me to get it in on this one, though. That's fine. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to cut it with the flush cutters. It's just hardly any room. Oh, wait. Duh. I can pull the power supply out, I'll have room. How many times have I taken this power supply in and out? A few. No! Zip tie broke. Son of a... Fortunately, threading that through wasn't that bad this time. Let's try this again. Guess maybe I'll turn the tension down on my gun. Oop, wrong way. Other way. There we go. Beautiful. Now, can I squeeze the power supply back in there? There we go. Oh. There are little tabs here. Little retention tabs for the power supply that I didn't notice before. And that's probably why it wasn't, it didn't seem as solid in there as it should have been. One of them's a little bit flattened though, so I gotta bend it back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, that makes more sense. Well, I'm glad I ended up having to dick around with this stupid thing a little bit more. Actually made it more correct. That zip tie spun around and the head of it is getting in the way. Here's the part where you hate life. Because dumb things start to happen. You want to get a gamer PC? So you can be a gamer. Gamer. I'm sorry, I'm just being dumb now. Come on, zip tie. Why you gotta do me like this? About ready to just leave that zip tie out. It's causing me strife. There we go. Hey. Got it. Got it. And then I put this screw back in, which lines up correctly now. Hey! Yeah, it's better. I still don't love it, but it is, it does feel more solid in there than it did before. Once I got those tabs, working. Okay, well, that's good. That was vaguely worthwhile. The struggle is real. Okay. So I fit this and I'm done. Almost. I still gotta deal with these cables here. Once I've got these, then yes, I'll be done. But these should be relatively easy to do. I keep changing my mind about how I want that cable to go. I think it kind of doesn't matter. So I just need one more tie to deal with these and keep them out of the way of the fan. Of the GPU fan. And then I think that'll be it. Oh, there's another tie point there that would actually make some good sense if I used it. But this should be mostly enough, I think. Yeah, these zip ties are a little weird. The gun tightened it just fine, but it didn't snip it quite the way I would like. All right, so that should. Let me take a look underneath here. Yeah, so it's just the PCIe and the power cable that are crossing the fan, but there's not anything I can do about that. I'm going to add one more zip tie here, just so that the those two cables stay together, because I don't want them to touch the fan. Yeah, it's one of my zip ties that work just fine. Okay, so I guess I just need to put the bottom cover on. Ooh. Good thing I'm paying attention. Get these filters back on. All right. So that's done. I gotta tie this up somewhere just so that it's not in the way. All right, so Power switch on. Everything should be plugged in. Tuck this down a little bit. Guess I shouldn't do that. Ow. I just raked my knuckle across the pins of the PCI riser. That felt real good. All right, I gotta tuck that ATX this big. Oh, look at that! I'm bleeding. That's awesome. I gotta tuck this down at some point, but let me try and power this bad boy on and just see. Did I do enough right? Probably turn that off now. And then this, I'm just gonna use this crappy old monitor because it's here. Try not to bleed on anything. Gonna need DVI to VGA adapter. Heard it click. All right, let me grab a keyboard real quick. All right, just gonna plug in a. This is a, well, I've got a little power light on the back here, so that's a good sign. Just plugging in a USB keyboard dongle. And, all right, let me, ooh, it's so dark. All right, crossing fingers, here we go. Where's the power button? This. Well, fan spinning, that's good. Don't have any video yet. Oh, there it is. New CPU installed. Please enter setup to configure your system. No keyboard detected. Oh, I didn't quite get it all the way plugged in. Press Press F1 to run setup. Yay! I don't know if you can see anything on the stream there, but well, I guess I could do this again too, right? So we got our BIOS screen. Up there. So, yeah, it's detecting. Come on, can you focus? Hello, camera? Is that too close, probably? But yeah, it's, why is that not going? But it's seeing the right, processor, seeing the right amount of RAM. Yep, AMD Ryzen 5 5600X 6-core processor. Total memory 16 gigs. Memory frequency is a little low, but I probably need to change that. All right. Well, that's can you that's it. It's all put together. Let me go ahead and put the lid on. Ooh, this is really quiet, actually. I'm very pleased. I think this is, well, obviously I'm not doing anything exciting or difficult right now, so I wouldn't expect it to be too noisy. But at least at the moment, this is quieter than my shuttle. So I'm not going to complain about that. Hey, can I go in here and just crank the fans up and see what it sounds like? This BIOS is too fancy for me. Like, it has mouse support, which is like crazy town. Definitely not used to that. Oh, here we go. Fan control. Full speed.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
I think I just finished.
Yay! That was good timing, man.
Yeah, even on full speed, it's quiet.
Yeah?
Yeah, I dig it. All right. Well, let me turn this off here.
You getting hungry?
I am hungry. But let me just put the lid back on this, and then I can say goodbye to my stream, and we can go get something to eat.
Hello, stream.
That's Belinda in the background. She's probably coming to tell me, you've been working on this for 3 hours. And I'll be like, yeah, I know.
Oh, no, I was just seeing if you're hungry because I was thinking about getting food.
Okay, so let's put the lid back on. This is the one part there that I'm not loving.
It's not going down.
Well, I just
Kinda
gotta.
bulky,
Yeah, it's just a
awkward.
large size cable.
Yeah.
I guess let me throw another. Let me put a zip tie on that, and that should
Some bags down here.
solve it. There's some bags down here?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, you can take those upstairs, and they can be poopy bags.
There's 4 bags. Alright, I'm going up.
Bye! When I say poopy bags, I mean poopy bags to clean up cat litter. I am bleeding less than when I played Dance Maniacs on stream. But I am bleeding. So that's cool. I'm just trying to get this big old ATX cable to sit down. Sit down. Sit down and shut up. There is a cable tie under there that I can use. Excellent. Oh, and there's one here too. Oh, you taking off, Lahi? Have a good one. Catch you next stream. Almost got it. Just depositing DNA samples in here. There we go. I heard it zip. Nice. See if I can pull these drive cables out so that they're accessible in the event that I do decide to put some extra drives in here. All right. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Everything's it's pretty tidy. I'm not mad about this one. Maybe not my best work, but pretty good. All right. So there's there it is. We're gonna put the lid on it. Yeah, that went down just fine. No obstructions. So that means I did it. I did it right. Okay. Put the screws back in it. And I can turn this. Give the PC a COVID vax. Yeah, well, hey, you're not missing anything. Like, if you gotta go, you can go. You're definitely not gonna miss anything, like, exciting. I'm just, uh-oh. Is this the wrong screw? What's happening here? Oh. Looks like one of the screw inserts is a little out of place. So the case screw doesn't want to go back in. What did I do wrong? Oh. It just must not have been quite all the way down, I guess. Oh, okay. Yeah. It just didn't quite seat all the way down. Yeah, now I can see it in there. Much better. So, theoretically, I guess the next stream, hopefully, will come from this box. Of course, I'll have to get the OS installed and do all that jazz. But that's okay. All right. So there it is. There's a little protective plastic there. Got it. Wants to stick to me. So let's see. Just check it out one more time. I get the power? Oh, there it goes. Yep. All right. Well, groovy. It's all ready for doing some software installation later, I guess. But anyway, that's the build. Thanks to all of you that joined in, kept me company for a little while. Hope that was of some interest. But yeah, I'll be hopefully I'll be back on to I should have the parts actually to do the what is it? The controller adapter upgrade for the PS2 that I was going to do. Those parts should be in the... I haven't gone out to my mailbox today yet, but according to shipping, they were supposed to be there, be delivered today. So I can do that. Although I may move on with the Wii streams, the Wii DDR streams first, and then get to that after. So anyway, yeah, it has been about 4 hours. I'm slow. I'm a little meticulous. But to be fair, I also spent probably 20 or 30 minutes in the beginning just talking and not actually doing anything. So there is that too. Anyway. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. I'm going to wrap this up for now, and I'll see y'all in the next stream. Bye.